It's been less than 48 hours since the trailer dropped for Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and already questions have started to flood in. Questions about the region, questions about the story, questions about the Pokemon, questions about just what the hell Game Freak are doing with these games. But today I'm going to look at just 5 questions that have really piqued my interest over these past 48 hours. Let's jump straight in. So firstly, I'm going to start off with just a little nagging one that's just, it's not a great big deal, it's not a great big mystery, it's nothing too important, but it's just something that needs to be covered because people are trying to overhype rumors and try and build something out of nothing. And that's, what's that Pokemon in the trailer when we're running up the hill? It's Meowth. It's a Alolan Meowth. It's obviously a Alolan Meowth. It looks like it. It's shaped like it. I've seen people on Twitter, on Instagram, trying to zoom in on it and make out that it's some kind of black and white dog-like creature. It's a Alolan Meowth. Just hands down, it's a Alolan Meowth. If it turns out to be another Pokemon, it's not going to be. It's not a new Pokemon. We haven't seen any new Pokemon yet. It's a Alolan Meowth. So just stop with that one, okay? Next up is one of the most important questions, really, which is a simple one. What's the story going to be? We've been told that the story for Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is an alternate story happening in the same world. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a completely different story to the one that happened in Sun and Moon. It might just have different events in there, or it may take place in a different time. It may be set after Sun and Moon. I mean, it's an alternate story. That doesn't mean it can't be a sequel. It just means it's a different story taking place in that same world, and the same world could feature the same characters. So it could be life in Alola after Lily's gone, after How's gone, after Team Skull have disbanded. You know, now that the Pokemon League has finally been established, you may be playing as the reigning champion. You may even be playing as the descendant of the reigning champion. Nobody knows. What we do know is there's a lot of focus on Pikachu. We see a lot of Pikachu in the area, I believe it's the area next to Iki Town, and there's even a Pikachu caravan conveniently placed in one of the scenes. It's even mentioned in Pokemon Sun's Pokedex entry for Pikachu, and thanks to PD Winnell for pointing this out, that a plan was recently announced to gather many Pikachu and make an electric power plant. And this could either be something taking place before the story in Sun and Moon, or even after, where they have gathered the Pikachu and they are looking to build a power plant in Alola. Who knows? And people are still wondering if there are going to be more islands in Alola. There's so many aspects to this story, and that's what's got people completely bamboozled. But we're not going to know anything until there's a new trailer, so you got to cool your jets just a little bit, guys. The next question a lot of people are asking is, what is the deal with Solgaleo and Lunala? Now, we've seen that they're clearly fused with Necrozma in some form because, you know, it's obvious. There's the prism symbol, the triangular prism. There's the fact that Necrozma's arms are very prominent in these forms of Solgaleo and Lunala. And obviously, these are probably going to be Ultra Solgaleo and Ultra Lunala, just to make life nice and simple. But why is the question everyone's asking. Not like, oh, why can this happen? This is ridiculous. But why specifically? What is it in the story that is going to be, oh yeah, Solgaleo and Lunala have fused with Necrozma for some reason. We don't know why. I mean, it's safe to assume the Aether Foundation are probably going to be involved with this, because why wouldn't they be? And it's obviously going to have some kind of connection to Ultra Wormholes, because why would they throw that story completely out? But it's going to be very interesting to find out the exact reason and the exact method that is used to fuse Solgaleo, Necrozma, Lunala, and Necrozma. It's just one of those things that isn't going to make sense to any of us until it's written down in black and white. Get it? Black and white. Black to white. I don't know why I bother. The next question is, what new Z moves are going to be introduced? In the trailer, we saw what looked to be Z move animations for the likes of Lycanroc Midnight, Togedemaru, Mimikyu. Now, the question is, yes, they may be possible Z move animations, or are they actually just cinematic elements for the game? Are there going to still be trials? And are these going to be the totem Pokemon this time around? I mean, Mimikyu was last time, but maybe we find a totem Mimikyu in a different location. Maybe there's going to be a totem Lycanroc that we have to fight. And if that's the case, will there be 2 forms? Will it be totem Lycanroc Midday in Sun? And will it be totem Lycanroc Midnight in Moon? And there's going to be a totem Togedemaru? Something like that? Who knows? until we start the game. But I know what you're thinking, and you may have jumped the gun already, so just sit back in your chair. For those that have already left a comment before watching the end of the video, getting to my last point, going, Liam, you're completely wrong about the trials, because what about this? I'm already about to mention it, mate. You've spoken too soon. Number 5 is, are trials being replaced with gyms in this version of the Alola story? There are 8 locations, although in my opinion, one of the locations is pretty flimsy. So let's say there's 7 locations where there are empty plots of land and often what seem to be construction materials nearby, which would suggest there's something that's going to be placed there, some kind of important building that is yet to be revealed. Now, back in the day, a year ago when Sun and Moon came out, people were speculating, is it going to be new shops? Is it going to be certain events that trigger these buildings to be created? But a lot of people are saying, what about these locations being places for gyms? Now, this theory does make some sense because these plots of land appear in quite prominent places throughout Alola. You've got the likes of Hau'oli City, Hihi City, Male City, Koni City, the Seafolk Village. Then it gets a bit ropey. You've got Mount Hokulani. We could possibly have a Mount Hokulani gym leader. You've got Route 15. Are we going to have a Route 15 gym leader? I mean, it is a plot of land, but it seems a little bit flimsy. And then the last one, the 8th one, this 8th location with an empty plot of land is actually just a little pile of construction material on Royal Avenue, where the Battle Royale Dome is. I'm not sure that's going to be a gym, because if they're thinking of slotting it into that place, is it going to be the gym's going to be built into the bit of forest at the edge, or are they going to replace the Malasada shop or whatever it is with... It just seems a bit too flimsy to me. I like the idea of gyms in Generation 7, and I like the idea of making this really alternative to Pokemon Sun and Moon by putting gyms instead of trials, but I think if you do put gyms instead of trials, it's going to make Alola lose some of the appeal. Because the whole point of Alola is it's a little bit more exotic. Things are a little bit different. It's a little bit more grassroots than the original Pokemon games and, you know, Gens 1 to 6. But I'd like to see gyms, but at the same time, I don't know if I want to see them in Alola. But time will tell. These may not even be gyms. These may just be random secret locations. Maybe nothing will come of them. There are plenty of places in the previous Pokemon games where we've had empty plots of land and people have said they're building and nothing's ever come of it. So take it with a pinch of salt. My advice to everybody is, we've had about 30 seconds of footage for these games. These games that are going to be filled with possibly over 12 to 15 hours of pure Pokemon entertainment. 30 seconds isn't something we can use to judge the entire games. So if you've already formulated your opinion that you don't like Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I'd like you to just have a little bit of a reality check. Have a little think and think, I've only seen 30 seconds of footage of this game. I can't possibly know if I'm going to like it or not. Because at the moment, if you enjoyed Pokemon Sun and Moon, you're going to enjoy Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Because so far, the only things we've been shown are just additions to already great games. Of course, as well, I want to hear from you guys what questions you have about Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. What do you think is going to happen in this next installment in the Pokemon franchise? Let me know in the comments below what you think, and drop a like if you enjoyed this video and if you're just enjoying the discussion. Remember, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. I'm uploading videos every single day. And of course, until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.